It's Gunwar time! Hello people, and Happy New Year! I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year's Eve. I know I had. Anyway, look at this! 60 FPS, you know? It was about time. But anyway, uh, I will now bring you another build, which I have been tinkering around with. This is some kind of lazy build, as I call it. It's nothing really that great for competitive play. I don't think it can really go that high. It's mostly just for some fun speed rifting in Torment 10 or something like that. So, this is the reworked Leap Quake. So we start with the Blade of the Tribes. This is probably the most important item, aside from, of course, the Earth set. But what this does is it makes your war cry and threatening shout cause an avalanche and earthquake. Pretty useful. Also, of course, you will be using loot socks. There is another alternative to this, but I'll get to that when I start talking about the cubed items. As I said, we'll be using the Earth set. Currently I'm using the Ring of Royal Grandeur in order to get the 6-piece. Also, the 6-piece is new. I don't think the Earth set had 6-piece before. Basically now it just increases the damage of Earthquake, Avalanche, Leap, Ground Stomp, Ancient Spear and Seismic Slam by 800%. That's a lot. Also, the 2 set is what makes this build so fun to play. Because it works kind of like Immortal Kings. In that regard, if the more fury you spend, the more your cooldown will go down. It reduces the cooldown of your Earthquake, Avalanche, Leap, and Ground Stomp. I mean, you won't be using Earthquake and Avalanche as skills, per se. The Earthquakes and Avalanches will come automatically from your Ground Stomps, your War Cries, and your Threatening Shouts. And Leaps, of course. So yeah, that's the set. You will be using the Dread Iron Belt, which makes the Ground Stomp cause an avalanche. So that's another skill that grants you an avalanche. So when you can see the thing here, because when you just pop everything, you get so much AoE that it's just absurd. And legendary gems, I'll use Bane of the Trapped, because obvious reasons, you will be leaping close combat every time. So yeah, kind of a no-brainer. I'll use Bane of the Powerful, but just because of more damage, more elite damage and so on. The only one that you might wanna switch out is the Gogok. I've just been using this as a placeholder. You wanna probably be using Bane of the Stricken because of the damage it stacks and also the boss damage. Bracers, I don't know actually. There are some bracers which increases the damage of your Seismic Slam, but as I'm not really using Seismic Slam, I don't really see the point of using them. So that's the gear. Let's go over the cubed items. This I found out was really fun to play around with. Ingium in the weapon slot, because your leap has a 10-second cooldown, and the Ingium reduces the cooldown by 10 seconds. You can kind of see the point here, right? Also, the Threatening Shout also has a 10-second cooldown. So you can pretty much just be spamming those endlessly. And the Ground Slam, you will be seeing a 2-second cooldown on that, but... So Ingium is very, very useful. For the armor slot, haven't really been that sure of it. I mean, gold wrap is a good armor if you're gonna be farming on just normal rift, because in great rifts you won't be getting any drops, gold drops that is, and that's the weakness of this build. Actually, it's very, very squishy compared to a lot of other builds that are very competitive now. As I said, Ring of Royal Grandeur, there is a argument to be made here. I've seen some people cube their loot socks and use the convention of elements instead. So there are possibilities, and then just use the earth boots to get the 6 piece. So that's a cubed. Let's go over the abilities. Of course, you will be using the threatening shout. Use the Faulty rune because of more damage bonus. The boulder toss, ancient spear, because you want to dump your fury as fast as possible because to reduce the cooldowns of your skills. So that's probably the best rune. Also, I forgot to mention this. We'll be using focus and restraint, and that's the way to activate your restraint. We'll be using, of course, leap. I use Call of Ariat, the rune, because you of the 4-piece Earth set, you will be getting the Iron Skin, Iron Impact even. So you can just switch that out, and Call of Ariat is very useful because it just pulls everything together. We'll be using Warcry, of course, because of the blade. I just used the Impunity because of the resistances. Ground Stomp, Wrenching Smash, because you just increase the radius and you pull everything together. Wrath the Berserker, Insanity, just more damage, basically. Weapon Master, more damage. Brawler, because you will always be in close quarters with enemies. And so that 20% damage will pretty much always be there. Rampage, pretty much a given for any build nowadays. Just a lot of damage. Ruthless is very useful for killing off elites and bosses and such. So that's pretty much the abilities and the gear. So I can just show you a bit of how this works. So I'll just be opening a normal rift because, as I told you, I don't think this is a very competitive build in the higher greater rifts because of the low survivability. But I can show you here. Oh, a pack of elites. And of course they're gonna have shielding. So now you can see the Ingium proc, and we'll just be leaping endlessly. Oh good, even more elites. So you see, when everything just comes together, the damage is pretty much very insane. It's actually really fun to just mess around with. Oh, I got an Ingium proc from pretty much nothing. I don't complain. So yeah, that's how this build works. Oops. So yeah, let's head back. Also, pretty soon the PTR will be over. I think it's the 15th of January. So I will probably not make any more of these videos. I will be trying to make some guides when when it goes live. So until then, I'll see you next time.